Okay, so hopefully with any luck today, I'll be able to change these aftermarket foot pegs to the stock foot pegs that I bought. I mean, I can already tell. So this back brake's gonna have to come off because getting this pin out, you know, it's gonna hit the back brake. And I already know that. So I may or may not do this off camera, depending on how hard it is to get this bolt off. But the other thing here is, so first of all, there's a little, it's hard to see right here. It's hard to see. I have to lay down, but there's this little cotter pin on the back of the bolt that's holding the brake lever in there. So that's gonna come off obviously first. But yeah, this is just a little 6mm bolt. Little dainty little thing. I get that out of the way. This will kind of dangle a little bit, and I can get this pin out. So I may or may not do that off camera, but hang tight. So I bought a 3/8 breaker bar, and I've got this length of pipe here to put on the end of it, just in case this thing is pretty pesky. Hopefully it's not. So this is just a little 6mm. Not socket, but hex head. So a little extension on there. We'll see if it breaks loose. Oh, okay, that came apart pretty easy. Okay, so yeah, it's not bad. I can probably get that off with a regular ratchet now. So take this extension off the ratchet here. And there's going to be a washer on the back of here, looks like. Okay, I can probably get that off by hand now. Somebody pre-greased it before. I can see why all this stuff is, you know, make yourself. Okay, so that just comes out of the way. I thought there was going to be a, there isn't. So this just kind of moves out of the way and dangles there. I mean, I guess I can back that all the way out because I'm probably going to Loctite it later. Although this cotter pin keeps it from backing out. So that's like fully greased. There's one video I watched, there was a washer right here, but this doesn't have it. You know, as you can see, that's well greased. So I'll maybe put it up here by my cotter pin. And now I should be able, this brake thing just fell out of the way on this one video I watched. So, okay, so that's where this hooks into that little, so basically, you know, this little spring right here hooks into this part of the brake lever here. But this just falls out of the way. So now I can work. Next part is there's a little like cotter pin on here that I gotta get out. It's all bent, so I'm gonna pause the video for a second. I go in and get my side cutters so I could bend this little cotter pin. These are basically junk once you take them out. So that's why I've got all new ones. And again, I have to give a shout out to Partzilla because they have all things OEM. You know, I don't know so much about the other brands. I'm sure they do, KTM and all those. So, okay, so this thing is not quite straight. Straighten it out the best I can. It's kind of straight. And then get this part out. Yeah. Of course, it's a stupid pin, wants to be a pain in the butt, you know. But yeah, these. All right, maybe I'll do this off camera. I pretty much had to destroy that pin. I'm gonna throw that somewhere where it doesn't get in a tire or something. That would kind of suck. Here's the thing. I had to knock this pin out right here. It's under spring tension. So let's go with a dead blow hammer and try to. Looks like I'm gonna have to take an extension. I got one right here. And I'll just kind of knock it out of there. And all this is under spring tension. You get these little torsion springs right here. So, okay, that's coming out. All right, that's not really, I gotta find something smaller to knock that out with. And I've got a punch here. So let's get on the other side of this. Give it a couple of whacks. It's coming out. Okay, let's see if I can get it out by hand. Okay, good. That pin came out. This is all gonna be under spring tension and we're off. Okay, so that's halfway done and I've got new springs and everything. I'm just gonna maybe take some alcohol and clean this up. And then I'm gonna re-grease the new pin that I bought and put in this side. So as anything on a dirt bike, everything's all dirty and stuff, full of dust. I mean, not that I need to do this step, but certainly couldn't hurt, you know. Doesn't look like this bike has been dropped. You know, like I said before in other videos, the original owner, he really didn't know how to ride two-strokes at all. I think they told me he ended up getting a street bike. So, I mean, you know, if you had a crash, you could actually bend those ears. So, it looks like these are stock. Anyway, that's kind of cleaned up. I didn't have to, it was a good day. I didn't even have to bring the AK. So, all right, I'm gonna grab the other stuff out of the box, verify what parts I have, and I'll come back on the video and finish up here. So this is the stock foot peg for the left-hand side. And it's gonna go on there just like that. I just gotta reinstall the spring and put this new pin in there. So I already pre-installed this spring. This is basically gonna go on here like this. I was looking at it a minute ago, like, man, how did I get it backwards? Well, the spring fits over here. So that should go like that, basically. And then I'm gonna drive this pin through. I'm gonna put some grease on it because, like, why not? So I'm gonna go grab some of the marine grease I got over here. I don't like getting grease all over my hands since I'm, you know, sitting here messing with the phone and stuff. Might as well put some gloves on so I can go ahead and get the other side tidied up. But yeah, I'm just gonna throw a little light coat of grease on this thing. Should make it easier to go in. You know, a little lubrication goes a long way, and so does this big tub of grease. So I'll put this over here for now until I need it for the other side. So should go in here like this. I'm going to be fighting spring pressure, obviously. Okay, that kind of went in okay, it looked like. I got the case right here that's kind of in the way, but a couple of whacks. Okay, that went in pretty easy. Okay, so, yep. That works as advertised. I mean, you know, it didn't have a washer, but I bought one anyway. The other side actually calls for a washer. Great, now I got grease all over my hands. Hard to get it out. but I'm not taking the gloves off. I'm seeing it in real time here. So yeah, I'm just gonna throw this washer on here. I mean, it couldn't hurt. And okay, I don't have to tear this bag open. That's good. So I'll throw this little washer on, put this new cotter pin on. That goes through like that. And then I can just bend it. I don't want to mangle it too much. I'm going to do this off camera. So the nerd in me had to figure out what thread pitch this was on this rear brake bolt. And it looks like it's going to be an 8mm by 125 on the thread pitch. So, you know, just in case I got to chase threads or something, which I already have a thread chaser. But like this one, the one, it kind of doesn't want to go in, but the 1.25, 8mm by 1.25, that thread's in. So anyway, that looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to throw some Loctite on this, and throw a little grease on this, and reassemble. Okay, so basically I learned my lesson before. Everything on this bike gets blue Loctite. So, you know, and Loctite brand Loctite, not that garbage stuff like you would get at AutoZone. And, you know, this stuff is always so runny. It always comes out like too much, but that's kind of what you want, because the other stuff I had, I put on the seat bolt, I ended up having to chase those threads. And first, I guess I want to get this. Anyway, I had to chase those threads, and yeah, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. So, looks like, yeah, that's gonna work. Yeah, so it hooks on that little spring there, and I'm just gonna grease this up some. This actually had like some marine grease on it before, so I'm not wrong in getting marine grease. You know, it's got these little rubber O-rings on here, which is probably why it doesn't have a washer. I don't want to get that in the threads. Let me try to wipe that out a little bit. Okay. And, you know, like, also the nerd in me had to find out what the torque value is. Not that you need to torque this stuff, but, you know, like, why not? It's 19 foot-pounds, you know. And I'm not going to go torquing stuff like seat bolts. It's got some gunk in here. Maybe I'll take a little, yeah, I guess it'll be okay. I was going to take a little pick and scrape that out some, but, I mean, should be okay. And then, yeah, just should go back in. I'll do this by hand. Yeah, here it is. My 6mm. I'll do this by hand, start it by hand. This is kind of, maybe, you know what? You know, I'm gonna push this in, because that's what happened before. Push that in. Actually, I'm gonna take the spring off first, because that's, you know, it's kind of putting too much pressure on it. Get it started. Kind of a balancing act, you know. Start this by hand. Now I've got grease all over my hands. Of course it's going to be slippery. yeah, it's just going right back in there, it looks like. Better not get too far. Shit. Gotta hook this spring back on, otherwise I'm screwed. Maybe I gotta back it up. You're seeing it live here, folks. Yeah. Okay, so I guess maybe I do have to fight the spring tension, because I'm gonna get that brake on there and then I'm never gonna be able to get the spring on there. Okay, so just hook this spring back on. All right, now let's start over. And make this go in. The hardest part's getting it lined up. One thing I wouldn't do is like put this back on with an impact driver. Man, I mean, you know, these are dainty little screws, man. And when I was rinsing on cars, I broke enough stuff that, you know, like I don't want to stretch threads or, okay, so that stopped. Now I'll go grab the torque wrench. My brand new Craftsman torque wrench. Can you believe that like this one was only $54. It's your old manual click one, but can you believe that they wanted like $192 for an electronic one? Yeah, no. No, thanks. Okay, so I gotta cut this little zip tie off. I'm gonna do that off camera. Okay, so the thing with this torque wrench is it's the lowest thing it starts is at 20 foot-pounds. This is 19 foot-pounds, so like whatever, man, it's an extra foot. It's not gonna hurt it. I didn't read that while I was there. But basically, I mean, 19 foot-pounds is a nothing. Oh, I clicked. Man, this thing's real quiet. Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, it seems on there solid. That's like nothing. Or as my cousin would say, you know, the German torque value, good and tight. I might go 1 more pound. So this would be like 21 foot-pounds. I mean, yeah, this is real dainty stuff, man. You don't want to break it. Okay. That's good for me. I don't think it's going anywhere. It's blue Loctited on there. And that was the most difficult side. Where's that cotter pin? And then I just reinstall the new cotter pin, or actually the old cotter pin. Where the hell is it? That's right there. And put that on the back side of this bolt. And it just chills out there. You know, the hardest part about this was bending this cotter pin. Had to sit there and hammer it off camera. Well, and it's always like stuff like this that fights you. I have to move all this crap out of the way, lay on my back. You know. Where's my little dead blow hammer? I don't know if I can get that in there. It's so small. Yeah, I might even end up doing this one off camera. I'll take this little punch and give myself some leverage. Smack it on there. Well, I'm gonna do this off camera. But it looks like everything's good. Like I said, this little pin right here. This is always stuff like this that fight you, but it looks pretty good, you know? It's resting on that second little indentation in the cotter pin. You know, it's not going nowhere. This is torqued down, you know, so Everything's working. That spring is obviously there, and yeah, man. Now let's see if the Kickstarter hits it. This bike's got a lot of compression. Okay, but that little knob on the Kickstarter, that's what that's for. So you don't beat up your Kickstarter. That's why I didn't like those other aftermarket pegs on there. So I wanted to go back with OEM. See, I don't know how I have this all figured out. So, yep, no more gouges in my Kickstarter. So that's why I changed it. Anyway, time to do the other side. The hard side is done. Same thing on the other side over here. I'm going to take this cotter pin off camera. Everything else just comes off. Okay, so hopefully I can just pull this right off on camera. Yep, it comes right out. Most of it. I had to destroy the old cotter pin. Yep, see, that one came off in one piece. So now, you gotta go get the punch, knock that pin out. The punch and the dead blow. And I lost the spring from this other peg over there. Man, I don't want to get that in my tire. All right, this should just pop out. And we're cool. And then, yep, everything just pops off, just like that. I think I'm just gonna clean this little bracket off. See all the dust off of it. Not that I have to, but I mean, you know, it's gonna get full of dust anyway. Okay, so rinse and repeat with the other peg here. And I've got to find that other spring that I lost. Don't want to get that in a tire. Man, that would suck. I got lucky the other day. I had something in my tire. When I went to a discount tire, saw something, I was dropping off my dog, took it right up there, man, it didn't go all the way through. You know, so sometimes you get lucky, you know. If you believe in God, sometimes he's looking out for you. Anyway, same deal. I'm gonna put a little bit of marine grease on here. Just makes things go in easier. Slides right in. So actually, the hard part was bending the stupid cotter pin. You know, but this just basically same idea. You know, you got your spring that goes in here like this, and this goes over the peg, and you just basically press up against the thing, and spring pressure holds it on. So anyway, it goes on there just like that. The spring's gonna go behind that, so I'm gonna grease up this little pin so it'll go through easier and turn around on me while I'm trying to install the new cotter pin. Yeah, a little grease goes a long way. I probably overlubed the thing. These just spin freely, you know, there's nothing holding them there really. So anyway, so basically this goes on there on the foot peg. You know, this goes in here like this, and then well, like this, not like I had it before, but you're pressing up against the spring to line up here. Maybe I could be smart about it this time and actually get a punch in here. Use the punch as a slave pin. That spring is brutal. That's me, man, you know, fighting springs on things my whole life. If I was smarter, I would try to get another. Maybe I can get a screwdriver or something in there. Use as a slave pin. Smaller punch is gonna be in order. That should do the trick. This punch right here is too big. Anyway, let me see. Let me make sure I get the spring on here right. Big part goes over the peg, little part goes over the bracket, and you just, I can feed this in here a little bit. I won't fumble around too much on camera while you watch me do this. Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, good. See, work smarter, not harder. This should just maybe. Yeah, That should get it to line up. And it fell off again. Awesome. And one of these times it's going to go on there. I'll back it out a little bit. Start over, set this down. Story of my life, brother. Fighting pins. Fighting springs, not pins. Get this in here as a slave pin. Get it straightened up a little bit. Good. Now I can see the hole. Now, try to get this in straight as I can. And we're through. Hee-haw. Picked up this dead blow hammer. I'll drive it the rest of the way through with this punch. Use the fat end of this punch. All right, it's through. Yeehaw. All right. And, you know, works as advertised. And then I'll get this little washer on here, and I'm out of parts. And that's a good thing, to run out of parts. Have everything go back on. So, like I said on the diagram on Partzilla, it doesn't call for a washer on the other side. But, I mean, like, why not? It comes in two. And, you know, I don't have extra stuff laying around. So, a little cotter pin goes through. I may have to do this off camera because it fought me on the other side. I'll try it for a second. I'll fumble with it. I'll fumble with it for a second. See, now the pin's moving around because I greased it, you know, to make my life easier. Anyway, I'm gonna bend that cotter pin off camera. I got this little cotter pin right here. If the camera will focus, I got that bent on there, so it'll hold the thing in place. And yeah, you know, works as advertised. Now I got OEM pegs back on there. So anyway, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. And also, let me turn off this headlamp here. And thanks to Partzilla. I'll keep giving them a shout out because I'm pretty happy with their OEM stuff. And I wasn't working on it too long. I mean, overall, it took me about 45 minutes to get both of them put on and put back together. So anyway, thanks for watching. The spring landed right there under my car, right where I might have run over it. You get something like that in your tire, boy, yeah, no good. I'd be back at Discount Tire again. Anyway, thanks for watching.